Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, it's Monday, and you know what that means. It's time for another episode of the Raw Event Center. And now here's the man that will bring you all the wrestling action from Monday Night Raw, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977. This is episode 2239 of the show. May the 12th, 2025, 10:50 p.m. Well, Monday Night Raw was over 20 minutes ago, and I just finished live reacting with my good friends, Brandon Martin and Jordan Little, a.k.a. Jordy Scout. So we're gonna get right into it. Monday Night Raw, and we'll tell you what happened. CM Punk kicks off Monday Night Raw, and it seems like CM Punk doesn't seem like to be trusting anybody nowadays, of course. And in Raw, took place in Louisville, Kentucky, and Paul Heyman interrupts Punk again. Seth Rollins comes out along with Braun Breaker, and Seth Rollins was talking trash. CM Punk's trying to tell him to shut up. And so afterwards, Braun Breaker was sent by Rollins after Punk, and then Breaker started beating down Punk. Punk fights back, but then gets double teamed by Rollins. Sami Zayn gets help Punk out, and then Heyman hands Rollins a steel chair, but Jey Uso saw that, super kicked Rollins in the face with it, and there is that. As you know, Jey Uso is scheduled a World Heavyweight title defense against Logan Paul. He'll address that later tonight on Raw. So there's that. And before the Penta Chad Gable matchup started, Pat McAfee made his return. In fact, Michael Cole had to spend the first 20 minutes doing the show by himself because of whether or not Pat McAfee was cleared after his match against Gunther this past Saturday night. And Pat was good to go. He came back, and he told Cole that he's sore, but he's good to go during color commentary. For color commentary, and Penta went up against Chad Gable, who, by the way, is still El Grande Americano. I don't care what anybody else says. He is El Grande Americano. And but nobody got involved in the matchup, not even Ivy Nile was at ringside, but Penta did pick up the victory over Chad Gable, a.k.a. El Grande Americano. And Michael Cole says, even Michael Cole can't be fooled. He knows that Chad Gable is El Grande Americano and vice versa. Adam Cole's not fooled, neither is Michael Cole, and neither am I. I'm sure there's other people out there that know that Chad Gable is El Grande Americano. So, and so there's that. So anyways, yeah, I got distracted because Mina Shirakawa is basically on her way to AEW. So I'm really excited about that. So Roxanne Perez and Julia addresses Io Scott and Rhea Ripley. I put Julia twice by accident. So, and Rhea Ripley about their tag team matchup, which ends up being the main event. So this gives Roxanne Perez and Julia a real big opportunity to really, really shine. And Judgment Day talks about Liv Morgan, and she says, "Good morning," and we're here at night, and like, dude, Liv Morgan's in Japan filming. And so they're educating poor Dominic Mysterio. Dominic, if you're going to be Dominic Mysterio, if you're going to be the Intercontinental Champion, You better get the time zones right, my friend. Oh, by the way, speaking of a Dominic, I want to wish a very happy birthday. Shout out to Godfather Dominic Williams. So, Godfather Dom, happy birthday to you. I forgot I can give you a birthday shout out on here. So, so I hope you enjoyed your birthday, my man. Seriously. Then Dom talks to Finn. Finn says, "No worry about it. I got AJ Styles. I got to get ready for that matchup." He said, "Go right ahead and do it." Punk and Zayn were talking about the tag team, the tag match that's going to happen at Saturday night's main event as they join forces against Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. And Sami Zayn understands where Punk is coming from. So we're going to trust me. You're going to do this. Yep. So they're going to do this. So they fist bump. They're ready to go. Meanwhile, the New Day joins on commentary and starts running their mouths, of course, about being the greatest tag team. Remember, well, they are the tag team champions. They went against the War Raiders and the Creed. Actually, they didn't go. It was the War Raider against the Creed brothers in tag matches, in tag action. The New Day gets involved in the matchup as well, and the War Raiders end up losing that matchup to the Creeds. Seth Rollins talks to Braun Breaker and then whispers something to Braun Breaker and has a smile on his face. Meanwhile, Adam Pearce was talking to Jey Uso, and he lets Jey Uso know what's going on. So Jey Uso comes to the ring, addresses Logan Paul, and addresses Logan Paul in the Louisville crowd. But Gunther, the former champ, interrupts Jey Uso, and he decides, well, I'm going to get my title back one of these days. So there's that. And Io Sky responds to Julia and Roxanne. And he says he tried to give Julia and Roxanne some respect, but they disrespected her. And so she goes, I think that's going to happen. I think, and Io Sky says she has no respect left for Julia or Roxanne Perez. Jackie Redmond was about to interview Ludwig Kaiser about him being a leading contender for the Intercontinental title, and then they saw some commotion, and they saw Jey Uso laid out by Braun Breaker, and referees and officials telling Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman to get out of here, and that's what they did. So then there was a matchup of former Bullet Club members and leaders, and not only that, two great wrestlers in this matchup. It would be AJ Styles and Finn Balor. Both J.D. McDonough, a.k.a. Lord Farquaad, and Carlito, a.k.a. Sideshow Bob or Buckwheat, it all depends, get involved during the matchup. But then Penta decided, well, I'm getting involved in this. I can't let AJ Styles take the loss. Fought off Carlito and J.D. McDonough, and then and Styles ended up picking up the victory over the Prince himself, Finn Balor. Then Becky Lynch comes out to address the Louisville crowd and Raya Valkyria. Oh, by the way, I said this on the live reaction show. The gentleman at ringside at Backlash this past Friday and this past Saturday, that was sitting at ringside watching Lyra and Becky go ahead. That's Lyra Valkyria's fiance, and his name is L.J. Cleary, and he's an independent wrestler from England. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up signing with the WWE. We shall see. He could be an ID prospect. Who knows? For sure. And so basically Becky Lynch decided to turn her back on the fans and she's very upset with the fans' decision. So there's that. Rusev addresses the men's locker room. Looks like he wants to save everybody. I don't know why, but Rusev is a man of mystery, and we will find out what his real deal is. Then Maxine Dupree, Natalya, and Akira Tozawa were talking to Adam Pearce. Tozawa says that he wants Rusev. Pearce says you're not medically cleared, but he goes, he's well determined. He's sick and tired of hearing we're not medically cleared. And then once you do, I'll let you have that matchup. But then Sheamus comes in to interrupt them, and Sheamus tried to comfort Kira Tozawa. Kira Tozawa then stepped out along with Maxine Dupree and Natalia. Then Sheamus had this idea and what ring rust? It's like all in the head, but here's what I want. I want a match against Grayson Waller. Personally, I want to see that matchup. I want to see Satan. I want to see Sheamus. Blah, blah, blah. It's been crazy all weekend long, man. I do apologize, people. I meant to say is, I want to see Sheamus. I want to see Sheamus take out. You know what it is? I was trying to sign Sheamus and Grayson, and I end up saying Shayton for some reason. I don't know why. I do apologize, good folks. I do apologize, good people. But I want to see Sheamus take out Grayson Waller. I don't mean on a date. I want to see him, bro, kick that big mouth Aussie shut. The only Australian people that I like, Zarya, Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, and Harley Cameron, and the iconic inspiration. I like Indy Hartwell, too. So there you go. And then, so Adam Pearce goes, you know what, let's make it official. So that match is happening. But then the main event. The lovely, the gorgeous, the beautiful Io Sky, the women's world champion, takes on not only beautiful, but very intimidating and powerful Rhea Ripley, taking on the very beautiful Madness herself, Julia, and the very cute Roxanne Perez. This is the main event. This is Julia and Roxanne Perez. They main evented NXT before. Now they've main evented Monday Night Raw. This is a big moment for them. Heck of a match between these two ladies. And Io and Rhea end up winning the matchup. They were Io's lifted up the title, and then Rhea just looked at it, and Io knows. Now there was a rumor about a spoiler that was put on the Raw roster and put on the Raw news. Basically said that the Kabuki Warriors came back and Asuka turned against Io, missing her. I don't know if that's actually what's supposed to be happening tonight or another. I don't know, but take it with a grain of salt. I think the WWE must have found out. Someone leaked it, so they changed it up the last minute. That's what I'm thinking. So, that was supposed to happen tonight, but it didn't, thank God. So, who knows? Or, you know what they should have done? They should have waited on the Kabuki Warriors. They should wait off on that by, waiting on the Kabuki Warriors. The women's tag team titles are still in play, so to speak. Or with Liv Morgan in Japan right now. Who knows? Raquel Rodriguez will have the confidence and say, hey, I could take two women on by myself with the tag belts. So, but who knows? So that's what I get out of it. So that's all there is to it. So that's all the time we have on the show. That's the first part of the fallout from Backlash, of course. As you know, 3 of the matches from the Raw roster happened on the Backlash. That will be both Intercontinental titles and McAfee and Gunther. So, we'll see the second part of that Backlash fallout on SmackDown. Meanwhile, it's over for this episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans is over for now. Tomorrow we got High Rollers and we got NXT. So, that's all we got. So, until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home, please. Once again, until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home, please.
That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and door for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.